just a little unwell, how I used to be.
In this next section, we're looking at the obstacles along the path, beginning with topic 2, how do I feel? The emotional journey of living with illness or disability sometimes feels like we're travelling through a dark place. Many people experience a range of emotions as they travel along the path. Feelings like frustration, anger, grief, or fear. It sometimes feels as if the changes in our physical well-being have shaken us to the core, that our whole identity and sense of self has been affected. And this awakens so many feelings in us. The emotional journey. Have you asked yourself, how do I feel as a person going through this? Like we said before, life can be a real roller coaster of emotions and challenges, and probably even more so when we are living with illness or disability. And it raises all sorts of feelings in the ups and downs on the journey. Let's look again at the 5 stages in the journey of living with illness or disability and consider what feelings arise in these different stages. So remember stage 1, the diagnosis stage. In this stage, the emotions that are most strongest tend to be shock and denial. So feelings like shock, it's not true. Denial, it can't be true. Confusion, how could it be true? In the impact stage, when the full meaning of what has happened hits us really hard, we tend to feel different emotions, like frustrated, there's nothing I can do about it. Guilty, what did I do to deserve this? Angry, how did they do this to me? Rage, I feel like screaming. And resentful, it's not fair. In the empty stage, the strongest emotions are sad and scared. So we often feel things like flat and drained. Emotions like sad, I feel like crying all the time. Down, what's the point of doing anything? Tired, I couldn't even be bothered trying. And scared, how will I get through this? The 4th stage is the coping stage. And slowly, for some people, those heavy emotions start to shift and they move forward to other feelings like curious. How do others cope? Hopeful. Maybe I can do things differently. And inner strength. I'm not going to give up on this. And you'll remember stage 5, that is beyond just coping. It's the living again stage. And the strongest emotions in this stage is determined and strong. So the feelings that are coming up are things like determined. If things are going to change, it's up to me. Courageous. Even if it doesn't work the first time, I'll try again. And empowered. The things I seem to be doing are improving things slowly. All of these are very normal feelings, and we experience them from time to time. We say they're just part of the journey. Feelings are just that, they're just transient shifts in our mood. They come and they go, and especially as we acknowledge them and express them, we just let them roll over us and we move forward. However, emotional blocks occur if we get stuck in any one of these feeling states or stages for too long. If we are stuck, we become unable to work through the feelings and move beyond this experience. What blocks us from moving forward? When you first hear words like blocks or obstacles, some images may quickly come to mind. The obvious ones are physical, probably, like the gradual weakening of the movement in your arm, your eyesight deteriorating, difficulties walking unaided, or being unable to join others in everyday activities. And these are definitely blocks of a kind. But in this program, we're exploring blocks of a different, deeper kind. The underlying thoughts, beliefs, and feelings about ourselves and about the things that have been happening in our lives. These blocks have got two aspects to them. The emotional component, like our feelings, our gut reactions, that inner sense, and the cognitive component, our thoughts, our beliefs, our self-talk. The emotional and the cognitive aspects work together. They interact with each other. We'll be looking at the emotional aspects in this topic and the cognitive ones in the next. So how can feelings become emotional blocks? As we said before, feelings are just transient emotions, and we experience them, and they pass. But they can become emotional blocks if we become stuck in any one of these feelings or moods or stages for too long. And this can happen for any one of a number of reasons, but usually it comes down to either one of these two things. Either one, excessively trying to avoid our feelings by ignoring them, denying them, rejecting them, or ourselves for feeling this way, by spending no time considering them. Or the second reason is actually the opposite, by excessively investing into our feelings, by over-focusing on them, justifying them, amplifying them, expressing them indiscriminately or violently. If we fall into the trap of either one of these extremes, we're more likely to become enmeshed, entrenched, stuck in that emotional state. And if we're stuck, we become unable to work through the feelings and move beyond the experience. So it's the aim of this program to help each person to look deeper into their own feelings, about what's happened to them and what is happening to them in their life, in order to be able to move forward in their own journey. So what does that mean, overcoming our emotional blocks? How is that possible? Well, like the physical blocks that you no doubt have been facing, there are some ways of overcoming some of our emotional blocks. And as we know, like our physical blocks, it's all about finding new ways to negotiate our way forward, to go up, over, under, or around in any way we can to move our life forward again. And it's the same thinking with our emotional blocks. But this is easier said than done. How do we really do this? Well, we've dedicated all of section 3 to overcoming obstacles. So stay tuned to learn more about how to do this. So as we come to the end of our second topic, how do I feel? One of the topics as we look at the obstacles on our path. Let's just quickly review the information we've covered in this topic. You'll remember we looked at the emotional journey. We've looked at what blocks us on the path, how feelings can become emotional blocks, and just started to look at how to overcome our emotional blocks. So try and get as much as you can out of this topic and stay with it until we move forward into the third section, which is about overcoming the obstacles.
A little unwell, how I used to be.